In a sea of French cruising boats, Hanse from Germany shows up with this brand new 41-footer that we just had to get on to give you guys a tour. We've been on the competition already, the Dufour 41 with its uneven sole that we were tripping over, the Bavaria C42. Fridge. The Jeanneau Sun Odyssey 410 and the Beneteau Oceanis 40.1. And in that sea of trendy running shoes sitting at the dock, this boat may as well have been a stiletto. I will note this is a production cruiser. She's not a Halberg Razzie or an island packet. She's not aimed at those markets. She's aimed at the biggest market there is. The retired couple who wants to spend 6 months out of their golden year cruising in the Bahamas or the Caribbean or the Mediterranean. To put that in math, the Island Packet 420 is 30,000 pounds with a ballast to displacement of 40%. This Hanse is 21,000 pounds. That's 9,000 pounds lighter than the IP with a ballast of, well, they don't list the ballast weight, but what we found when we started digging was a listing on yacht.de, a German magazine, of a ballast of 2,370 kilograms or 5,200 pounds for a ballast to displacement on the Hanse of about 25%. Now, that's just a bunch of numbers to most folks, but what it means is this. A ballast to displacement of 50% would be the upper limit of a stiff, solid boat. 35% is about average and 25% is regarded as fairly tender and much less stable. The IP was 40%, this Hanse 25%. So this is squarely a production style cruiser by that metric. And that's okay. Most retirees aren't looking for the Halberg Razzies and the Island Packet weight and strength. They usually won't beat to windward very often or head out to hop from island to island in a Force 8. They want to leisurely sail from island to island, and when the going gets rough out there, they stay in a protected anchorage and kick back to enjoy paradise. Let's have a look at the Stiletto. This boat is striking sitting at the dock. In these press release videos, she's a thing of beauty, but I will note, both at the boat show and all the press available, she never has a dodger. Ever. We asked the sales rep for a picture of her with a dodger, and he told us he couldn't find one. I think that would ruin the gorgeous lines of this boat and make it look like every other production cruiser. Is that why we can't find a picture? Wait, here's one. It's not bad with a dodger. Why do none of the show boats have dodgers? If you know why, please leave a comment on this video. I feel like they're hiding something. Also, while I have you, hit the subscribe button. We release a new video every Monday and Saturday, and if you subscribe, it's free and you won't miss anything that way. We got on board this boat and were immediately astounded by how clean it is. The gorgeous cockpit opens up at the transom behind two carbon fiber wheels flanking a barbecue station in the middle. It's kind of cool. The backstay is split and adjustable with a purchase system so you can bend the mast at will. The synthetic teak is highly contrasted against the white topsides, and the glasswork is exceptional. In fact, everything about the build quality of this is exceptional. It's all very German. I feel like if the BMW M3 were a sailboat, this would be it. And when she's at anchor, both of these cockpit tables drop down to make two massive sun loungers the size of double beds, which would be amazing. As Hanse likes to do, oh, it is Hanse, the pronunciation, like Porsche. Hanse puts the primary winch within easy reach of the wheel, and rather than a big plotter in the middle on an island, you get a full instrument package at each helm, which is nice, albeit a very expensive way to do it if you had to replace the electronics. There's two of everything. One complaint as we walk up the side deck is the lifelines and pulpit. It all feels very minimal, not something I would want to traverse in big seas. This feels more lightweight and racy than a safe, hard to fall out of spot. All lines are led aft to those Lumar electric 45s, and the chain plates are outboard bolted to the side of the hull, a trend we like for inspection and replacement sake. But if you wanted to run a Genoa, they would stop you from pulling the sail hard in to run at 35 to windward that they claim this boat will do. This one has a self-tacking jib anyway, so it doesn't matter. Hatches are plentiful, as you'll see when we head inside, but Hanse did what Beneteau do for the bow roller. It's integrated into a bowsprit, which limits your choice of anchor. And as a straight shank Rockna guy, this bothers me. Maybe it's less important than I make it sound, but I want to be able to run any anchor I fancy, and this would actually be a deal breaker for me. The self-tacking jib is on a single line furler, and we get pad eyes up front for a code or an ASIM, which is nice to have, although Mom and Pop Cruiser may opt to forego running the nylon. I will take a moment to point out the bow pulpit not going completely around the bow, which leaves a big opening for the kids or grandkids, or more likely a small dog, to fall through. A full pulpit is usually better bet for the retired cruising couple. Looking back on this boat, I'm delighted by the lines and how clean the deck really is. She would be the best looking boat in the anchorage next to all the bends and gens for sure. And her over 14-foot beam is carried well aft, so adding a big arch means you could easily pile 1,000 watts of solar on the back with a 10-foot rib hanging beneath. The deck step mast is not a so East Coast friendly 66 feet, which is kind of another miss in the design for mom and pop Florida-based cruiser, but this one is optioned with the in-mast furling, but a stack pack is available should you want it. Headed aft, we come to the very large cockpit where the glasswork and quality of the finish is very, very well done on this boat. And note the companionway boards that slide down into a hopefully well-drained pocket. A nice touch to get the boards out of the way without having to stow them somewhere below. Headed inside, we're treated to an interior befitting of a production-style cruiser, but the factory options are endless down here. You can have just about any interior layout you want, including a 2-cabin or a 3, a standing nav station like this boat has, or one with a bench, an under-nav station fridge or dishwasher, 1 head or 2 heads. It really is endless. The starboard aft on this boat gets a nice-sized double aft cabin, which is adequate for 2 adults with loads of storage throughout. Next to that is the main head on the boat, which actually has a separate shower inside. We always like when the builder finds room for this, and on this Hanse, it's very well executed. Whenever we can keep the rest of the head dry, it's a win in our books. While we fiddled with the companionway board, it's a good time to talk turkey. This boat's price varies wildly with the different options and sale packages, but the average price is right around $300,000, which is noticeably cheaper than the French equivalent Jeanneau, coming in between $350 and $475. The nav station on this model is simple but elegant and very, very well put together in the electronics department. Hanse went with the digital switch panel for all the running electrics, and hate it or love it, it's a digital world. The saloon table is actually one of my favorite things, with the pop-up wine locker, the slide-out drawers, and drop leaves. I bet a year worth of R&D went into this table, and it shows. It's extremely functional. As we head up, we're treated to the master stateroom with its centerline queen berth and an excessive amount of storage. Overhead lockers and hanging lockers, drawers and cubbies everywhere, and this boat has wireless charging for your phones. And the master gets its own head with, for some reason, a door that opens the wrong way toward the rest of the boat and not the cabin it's actually meant for. And this roomy space is a wet head, so no shower stall for the owners. It feels like a chic hotel powder room in here, and it's adequate, even if we have to trek back to the main head to shower every morning. Back to the galley, I noticed no sole squeaking underfoot, all very solidly built, as I've come to expect from German manufacturers. Isotherm appliances are excellent, and reasonable fiddles in the galley are nice to have. The fit and finish on this veneer is adequate. The grains don't line up like they would on a Catalina, but the sole doesn't squeak and squawk like the Bavaria does. The space is well lit and extremely well ventilated. It's all very middle of the road compared to the French boats too. This boat is the 3-cabin model, so we get another double berth back here, which is very reasonable in size. On the 2-cabin boat, this room is actually a smaller storage area, which I'd likely opt for if I were buying this brand new. In the middle we get, which is very much an industry standard now, the well-adjusted but tight-fitting Yanmar with access hatches on either side in the aft cabins to do your maintenance and oil changes. While the outside look of this boat is remarkable, the inside feels slightly cheaper than that of the competition over Catalina, slightly better than the folks at Dufour, and in line with the Bens and Gens. It's all very adequate. The dealer kept reminding us of the Fusion stereo system as a perk that this boat comes with, but I'm not sure Mom and Pop would be boat buying looking for something like that. So what of the competition? Well, I'd likely buy the Jeanneau Sun Odyssey 410. It's by all measures a very similar boat in weight and performance, fit and finish, but about $100,000 more brand new. But it has much bigger tanks and it's kind of a nicer boat. And it has those innovative walk-up side decks that we really like. If these boats are targeted at mom and pop cruiser, the Jeanneau is a little bit better at it. It's a little bit easier to live with. You can see the full Jeanneau tour up here. What do you think? Are you in the market for a cruising production boat? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear what features really sell you on one of these boats. And what deal breakers do you have? For me, it's that anchor roller. How about you? Also, please give this video a thumbs up. It's free and it really helps us get better at YouTube. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.